डाइरेक्ट जान्छ भयो डाइरेक्ट हुन्छ
यहाँ छ भने के ग्रिन बल खाने त बल आयो दाइ माइक म्युट गर्नु माइक म्युट छैन अघिको हामीले त्यो उ गर्न बिर्सियो के गर्नु पर्ने यहाँ राख्नु दाइ यो यस्तो गर्नु सल्का तान्नु नाख्नुतिर त्यो माथिको
take him on. He's been effective so far, but it's Leask now.
He's going to get to 50. It's an 8th career one-day international 50 for Michael Leask, maybe the largest cheer of the day. Very popular player locally, particularly at this, his home club. It's a first ever 50 to go alongside that 100 that he has against Nepal. Don't rule him out doubling this up. If he's still there in the 50th, he might just.
Well, his ability to accelerate is just phenomenal. And you mentioned it really early on. He'd been trying to overhit, been scratching around, couldn't buy a run. Just have a look at his number there already. 6.4s, just the 1.6, but that strike rate, 125, and that is just about almost where he bats throughout his ODI history, almost up there.
Oh. KC is, well, disintegrated down the ground. What a strike that is. Evasive action needed by the umpire, and
what a shot. Just a cross-battered swipe. He was down.
Brilliant batting. Things are looking beyond ominous right now for Nepal. They could need to hunt down a record total to have. Any chance in this contest, all going Scotland's way. We think the last Leask, he's not just hunting down. He's hunting down 100 here. He moved to 60 off 42 deliveries. I think that last over might have been a 5-ball over. We're going to get it checked, but Scotland have brought up the 250 in some style.
Well, that really is extraordinary batting. Brilliant stuff. We're just trying to get things updated for you because there has been a little bit of confusion. We're just going to try and get that sorted out.
No, it wasn't a 5-ball over, I don't think. We just caught up now. I think we just missed a dot ball earlier in the over. So that is the 250 brought up. That ball will be more than lost. This is, well, it's medium pace, isn't it? On a decent looking batting surface. Loves that slog sweep. Exploitation of the conditions. You're hitting with a stiff breeze, 20km/h wind at least. Get it up, get it over the rope, 59 metres. I'm not sure what's going to happen here for Nepal. There's a couple of significant player consultations going on. Sandeep Lamachani's run about 75 yards to come and talk to Karen KC. Rohit Powdell looks had a long conference, haven't they? Sandeep Lamachani's still there. There is Lamachani. He's going to now sprint all the way back down to deep third. He's come 80 yards up. Sampal Kami was discussing with Karen KC. Rohit Powdell was there. huge pressure, isn't there, on Nepal? Their Achilles heel continues to be their death bowling. Maybe their best death bowler is an off spinner. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, their problems at the death are being amplified by Leask suddenly finding form.
Swing and a miss, the first one that he's missed out on.
And just can't you see the change in just the way that Michael Leask is holding himself when we've seen him sort of trudge on and off in the past few games and looked like the world was really resting on his shoulders. But as he's been able to stay out there on this occasion, you've almost been able to see the confidence and the belief come flooding back into the way he's standing, certainly the way he's playing his shots.
And a bit of fortune now too. An inside edge is going to race to the rope. Not a lot that Karen Casey did wrong there. He got it right full into the block hole, but this is the power of Leask. He could go past Berrington the way he's going right now, and do not rule it out being a second ODI 100 for Michael Leask. We're witnessing a spectacular innings here.
We certainly are. And well, when you're playing your shots, you get a bit of fortune. Very few people get those big scores without the occasional bit on that particular ball. The inside edge just missing the stumps.
From Nepal, still just bowling with two fielders in the deep on the leg side. Place that Michael Leask is trying to score. I know the bowler's trying to get it outside the off stump, but
well, there's a small margin of error, isn't there? There's not much room to move. That wind is, you can probably hear it on our microphones. It is picking up, and it'll pick up any ball that Michael Leask hits into the leg side.
The men in the deep and the offside are where Nepal want Leask to hit. He's just not even looking there. It might be the right plan, but it's for the wrong players. Finally, one goes out that direction. Still be a single. Bashir Ahmed does the fielding. He's been lively since he's come on. Five overs remain. Michael Leask is taking this game away from Nepal, and he's counting his balls pretty well. Well, he's going to keep the strike, and with 5 overs remaining, 256 for 5.
Uh, 17 coming off Karen Casey's over. Remember, he was only going at, well, less than 2.5 and over in his first spell. Here's a look at how this innings has unfurled so far. George Munsey going early against a really good innings by Charlie Tier. Second time in a row. They lost their big guns, George Munsey, Brandon McMullen, but Richie Berrington to the rescue. He's had, well, not just support from Michael Leask, but Michael Leask is now motoring through the gears. And goodness gracious me, if he stays out there for much longer. Look out.
You just see Gary Metcalf, the Scottish team physio, running on and getting Barrington more treatment on. It's a niggle that he's going to continue to carry. Remarkable the pain barrier and the threshold that he goes through to just put his country first. He's an absolute superhero, this man, Richie Barrington. 89 he is on. Thought that single had taken him into the 90s, but I think it was given as a leg by in that previous Lamachani over. Leaska's every chance of going past him. Now, final 5, fireworks incoming. Scotland thinking of 320, maybe 330. Cut away for 4. Leask, well, he's putting Nepal to the sword, and that Sampal Kami dropped catch when Leask was on just 14 is now proving very costly.
Well, he's timing the ball now so well. That's what he's been searching for. And he knows this ground so well. That was right to the shortest part. He cut beautifully.
Cut again, and Kami this time will be able to do enough to cut it off. Leask has flown to 70 of just 49 deliveries. Really high quality cricket we're watching here. Nepal are having the game maybe not taken away from their grasp entirely, but maybe they will have to effect a record run chase for the second time in 6 days to be able to make it 3 wins from 3. Scotland are holding the aces here. These final 5 could be very imperative. As Barrington goes through the offside, we'll just get the single as Bertel does really, really well.
The thing is, Lenny, even if they have to chase down a record score, I ain't putting it past them. I have learned very, very quickly, no matter what. But this has just been really enjoyable so far, this innings, but I'll expect them to come out fighting very hard. Remember, Scotland have got a bit of an experience around their bowling attack. You just never know. But it's been fun. It's been entertaining. I'm sure that's how everyone feels. Still some fans coming in too, by the way.
Slower through the air. Clever bowling from Lamachani. He's bowling his 10th and final here. Been kept wicketless so far. So somebody's going to have to bowl overs 48 and 50 from this end. Irie has 3 left. Something has to change. It's all been a bit too easy for Scotland. As Barrington pumps it all the way. That's going to go for 6 and very nearly take out our cameraman up on the gantry. It's hit by Michael Leask. Apologies, not Richie Barrington. 2 of them are looking as good as each other. And that one is, well, great evasive action taken by our hero up on the gantry. Glad it didn't knock into him.
Well, he is on one. He really is, and it's always special to watch when Michael Leask unfurls. Where does he go next?
Going to be wicketless for Sandeep Lamachani. Definitely should have had 1 next to his name. Maybe not his best set of 10 overs. 10 overs none for 69 for him. Leask has again kept the strike. It is Barrington at 90, but it was Leask that hit that big 6 down the ground. What a strike that was. 269 for 5. Scotland, well, fantastic from them. Let's hope he's all right up there, our cameraman. That's Jan up there. The 100 partnership's been brought up in that over as well. It's come off just 84 deliveries. A fantastic fight back. They were in a few spots of bother, weren't they, when Matthew Cross was dismissed and they were 5 down. Things looked a bit difficult for Scotland when they were 25 for 2, and a low score again from McMullen and Munsey today. He also felt things were looking difficult, but the fight back's been led by Richie Barrington and now Michael Leask's pyrotechnics. He's only got one one-day international century in his career to the 100 before Barrington, the way things are going.
You know, I had to go back and check what phrase I used for Michael Leask in a piece I wrote when he had that partnership with Richie Barrington in Kingston. I called him a jack-in-the-box burst bursting with fireworks.
Palkami, that one's right off the toe of the bat, so it'll bring Richie Barrington on to strike. This has been such a good partnership to watch, hasn't it? Nepal have been a bit naive at points, but brilliant from both right-handers.
Well, mate. I made the point a few times ago why I just love it because they are so different in person. Forward to listen to him. Michael Leask is not softly spoken, and everyone puts their hands over their ears when he's talking. Such different characters.
Swing and a miss from Barrington, who just since he's got that treatment has lost his way a bit, hasn't he? Clearly looked in more than a bit of bother and a bit of pain. And maybe the best result for Scotland right now for these at this period, just Barrington to get a single ever he can, and at least can continue this explosive fireworks that he's showing off.
Yeah, I think he might be in quite a bit of pain. Incredible, Barrington, when he goes through.
Smoked. Absolutely smoked, and it's maybe going to go all the way it is. Leask is, well, putting on a performance that Richie Barrington is now trying to equal. That's a fine stroke, isn't it? How's he opened up the offside there?